Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Football Follow-Up. This is for Week 12 running backs. If you're new to the show, here's what I do. I quickly break down who was projected to score well in Week 11. We look back at who actually did score in Week 11, talk about it a little bit, and also talk about how that affects your waiver wire plays for Week 12 and moving forward into the rest of the season. I will give you my top 5 running backs to pick up. If you want to skip straight to that, check the timestamp below. It will take you right there. Before that, I also give my NFL superlatives this week for running back. We do have a Kicked in the Nuts award, we do have a Dumpster Vomit award, and we do have an I'm Watching You award. There's some value out there on the waiver wire, but let's just get rolling here with the ESPN projected top 10 scoring running backs in order. Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, Leonard Fournette, Nick Chubb, James Conner, Le'Veon Bell, and Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon should be in white because he has yet to play. He is playing on Monday Night Football. Top 10 running backs, the ones in white were the ones ESPN got correct. McCaffrey, Gus Edwards makes to number 2 on this list thanks to a long run. Mark Ingram, Marlon Mack, even though he only played like half the game. Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, Jonathan Williams played the other half of the game for Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack would have had probably 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. He would have had a massive game if he didn't hurt his hand there. Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, and Le'Veon Bell. Good for Joe Mixon cracking this list. Before we get into the waiver wires, and once again, you can check the timestamp below if you want to jump right there, I will give you my superlatives, my awards for the NFL running backs. This week's Kicked in the Nuts award goes to the the Denver Broncos coaching staff. Usually I give this to a player, but this is a very, very important thing that I need to rant about. Scangarello for Denver calling the plays. I haven't been impressed with him so far this season. They go up 20-0. It's like the fastest start that Denver's had. Denver has a defense that is underrated. I know what their record is, but they're playing better and better. They've been dealing with injuries through the year. They're starting to get that program that head coach Fangio wants to put in place. They're reeling, very, very actually kind of underrated fantasy value off on the defensive side of the ball. It's looking great for them. I didn't think Minnesota really had a chance, as good as they are without Adam Thielen. I didn't think they were going to be able to make up a 20-point deficit. And what do they do? What do they do on offense? And I'm looking over to my computer screen right now. Brandon Allen finishes the game with 39 passing attempts. He goes 17 of 39. 17 of 39. That's like that. Those are numbers that you would get in the 1940s. Ridiculous. Brandon Allen, 17 of 39 with a touchdown. And what do they do in the run game? Philip Lindsay ends the game with 16 carries. Okay, Philip Lindsay, I think, is their best offensive player. For my money, he is the best offensive player in Denver. Okay, you can make an argument for like Cortland Sutton or some other guys, but I think it's Philip Lindsay. 16 carries. Royce Freeman, 8 carries. Okay, the bread and butter of this defense. Okay, well, maybe Minnesota was shutting down the run game. What do they do in the passing game? Well, Philip Lindsay, on those 39 passing attempts, 3 targets went to Philip Lindsay, 1 target went to Royce Freeman. Inexcusable. Denver's offensive play call, he's going to be gone. I think the defense will be good. I think Denver actually has a lot of potential, but they need to figure out quarterback, obviously, and they need to get the ball into the hands of their best playmakers. Inexcusable. It really drives me crazy. So Coach Taylor in Cincinnati, he does the same thing. It's a close game between Cincinnati and Oakland all day. Mixon uncharacteristically finally gets into an early groove there. And what do? They end the game with 15 carries for Joe Mixon. Inexcusable. If you're in a close game and you have a talented offensive player, get them the ball. Next award on my list is the Dumpster Vomit. The Dumpster Vomit Player of the Week award is Brian Hill for Atlanta. I was thinking about giving him the Kicked in the Nuts award, honestly, because I thought that his projection would be really nice for daily fantasy. I rotated him into some daily fantasy lineups, and he was a killer. Dumpster Vomit did not play well at all. In a game where Atlanta puts up like 30 points, give or take, I'm like 29. They put up 29 points. Brian Hill has next to nothing. Now, the I'm Watching You award, very, very, very important, is Jonathan Williams of the Indianapolis Colts. Marlon Mack is out with a fractured hand. He's going to see a specialist to see how bad that fracture is. They're going to figure out what the playing time is for him. Now, Jonathan Williams, what I used to say about Marlon Mack for the last 2 years, I guess season and a half, is that this offense is different when Mack is in the game because he's the only running back that can reliably move the chains, and he's a factor in both the passing and the running game. Jonathan Williams is that equal. I think that he's going to, when Matt gets healthy, start to eat into some of his carries, to be honest with you. But he looked really, really good. He's somebody that needs to be on your radar, especially at this time of year. Everybody's looking for that other running back to fortify their rosters. You need to be looking at him, which brings me to my top 5 waiver plays, and I actually give you a 6th this week. Darius Guice for Washington got into the end zone twice, I believe. Once. I'm sorry. He got into the end zone once on a long screen pass. He still split carries with Adrian Peterson this week, but I do think that Guice is the more physically talented player at this point just because he's younger. He's got fresher legs. So Darius Guice only owned in 45.8% of the leagues. Jonathan Williams owned in 0.0% of the leagues. He will be out there for you. Keep a close eye. If you have Marlon Mack on your team, you have to pick up Jonathan Williams. You need to hedge your bets there. If he's going to miss time, you need Williams, and I think he'll fill in for you very well. Jalen Samuels, still only owned in 62% of the leagues. He's involved on the waiver wire in my personal league. I'm going to pick him up. I like Jalen Samuels, and what I really like about him is he usually is involved in the passing game. Now, Pittsburgh strayed from that against Cleveland, I think to their detriment. Mason Rudolph is not at this point fit to continuously throw the ball downfield. I could have very easily given him my Dumpster Vomit Player of the Week award, but since he got clocked in the head by his own helmet, I shouldn't laugh about that. It's actually very serious, but since he didn't get injured, I laugh about it. Mason Rudolph, he had a hard enough week, so I didn't give him my Dumpster Vomit award in the quarterback area. But Jalen Samuels should be, even if James Conner's in the game, I think he should be involved in the passing game enough. Jamal Williams, another one of those B running backs, right? He's the option B in that running game, but he gets into the end zone quite a bit for Green Bay. They're coming off a bye week. He's well rested. I like him. Only owned in 65% of the league. Bo Scarborough, I hate it. I hate that name because it's hard for me to say Bo Scarborough. Bo Scarborough. I feel like I'm doing linguistic exercises. But Bo Scarborough, of course, and it's a freaking Detroit line, pops up out of nowhere and dominates the carries in the backfield. I'm sick of that Detroit running game, but you need to pay attention. Owned in 0% of the leagues. And then Kalen Ballage got in the end zone, although I'll be honest with you, I was thinking of giving him the Dumpster Vomit Player of the Week award. The only reason I didn't is because he got in the end zone, but he had 9 carries for 9 yards. Woof. And then I think he had maybe another catch or 2 for 4 or 5 yards or something like that. It's bad. Miami's only getting yardage in the passing game. It's tough there. They need to shake out, but they are playing tough. I credit the head coach. They're keeping those players hungry. They just need more players. But there you go. So that takes me through the episode of the running backs. I also do the quarterbacks, the tight ends, the wide receivers, and defense and special teams. I skip kicker because nobody cares about them. And who knows? Adam Vinatieri is missing extra points like crazy anyway. The GOAT, right, is missing extra points left and right, although I think he did go perfect today, so good for him. Once again, that takes me through the episode. Please, please, please like and subscribe. That helps us out. We will catch you on another episode soon. Thanks, everyone.